The legendary divine goddess and divine feminine Persephone is our spirit guide for today. She is number 7. All right, Meldeck. The 5D planet Terra exploded millions of years ago, and as a result was sucked into a reversal black hole which fragmented the entire 5th dimensional planetary blueprint into 12 planetary bodies in our current 3rd dimensional solar system. It is the mother of life principle. The destruction and capture of Tiamat's consciousness body is what led to the utter destruction of the white solar queens, who are the embodiments of the triple solar feminine ascended masters, splitting apart the Christo Sophia as the solar feminine principle descended into lunar consciousness, forms of sexual misery, which made ascension and leaving the time matrix impossible. After the invaders systematically hunted down and destroyed the Holy Mother Sophia's representatives, the living goddess of the 10th gate on planet Earth, and which was formerly Sumeria and is now Iraq. Tiamat is the female planetary logos principle and was a 5D planet. Her principle was the living intelligence gatekeeper to the Christ Buddha avatar matrix on our planet. So, Marduk, son of Enki. Marduk, a black sun planetary logos, aka Nibiru, gave the intelligence of Enki, Ea, who decided he would invade Sumeria and play Anunnaki god to the humans, and gave his version of accounts that the Anu created the human beings, and there they were the gods of this planet. Oh, so this is where the black cube and the red cube comes in, and they create blockages on the tree of life.
Rapidly, harnessing technology and knowledge at an unprecedented rate. But, as with any power, the misuse of these advancements was their downfall. The civilization of Maldek, much like the legendary Atlantis, wielded their technological prowess without regard for the preservation of their planet. They were entrenched in warfare, believing their actions were in the best interest of others. This self-serving attitude, however, led to the escalation of destruction.
One of those planets, one of those moons, one of those planets crashed into Tiamat, breaking it into pieces. A huge chunk swung away, became the Earth, taking a lot of the life and water and everything with it. Pretty cold left of the Earth. It also gravitationally it tugged the moon along with it.
Mena shinano sunu moktianata, mena sunuyan manokunu nanati, una siyananata, emeyana kutuana, emeyama kunata. Deep breaths through the body, relaxing and breathing and letting go, clearing our center, grounding, opening, and balancing. Ashe. Go ahead and get comfortable if you may. Join me for a self-scan, self-check-in. I am going to play one of the chakra singing bowls for a minute to give us a moment to focus on our breath so we can breathe into our mind, our body, and our emotions. It's a good time to also reflect, even journal as well, on anything that you may be struggling with or anything that you may want to heal, clear, activate, or manifest. Today we have the sacral. Sacral is our center for our passion, our creativity, our inner child, our inner feminine, sexuality, relationships, and emotions. So let's bring some clearing and activation to the center as we breathe. We get ready to dive into this fresh episode of Grand Rising with ChristoLight. Taking deep breaths, clearing the mind, body, emotions, relaxing our bodies, relaxing our shoulders, relaxing our jaw, relaxing our toes. Deep conscious breaths through the body. Go ahead and take one more big deep breath through the body. And let go. All right. Whew. So how are we all feeling today on this day of this rising? Thank you for all tuning in, and thank you to all that have supported and continue to travel along this journey with Marcus ChristoLight, your host, founder of Sacred Light Healing and Wellness, where we bridge communities worldwide, provide sacred safe spaces for transformation, healing, enlightenment, as well as empowerment. I am a producer and editor of my own products as well as other people's podcasts and content. I am also a community host. I have an international community that is online and local, and it is open to other members that would like to build and craft with other star seeds, conscious minds, and active individuals. I also host retreats. Coming up tomorrow, I will be setting up for my weekend retreat this weekend, and that is going to be for the Peruvian Shamanic Retreat. Now, this is going to be a beautiful retreat. Peruvian shaman from the Andes, his understudies, multiple holistic practitioners, as well as home-cooked vegan meals by indigenous chef, as well as live music, camping, and beautiful community network. So that'll be this weekend. And of course, I have various one-on-one healing services that you guys can also contact me and book. And you guys can actually go directly to this QR code right here on the screen to check out any of my socials, my YouTube channel, the clinical grade organic reishi coffee that I also deliver, and then book sessions and register for retreats. You guys can also go to the link in the ticker as well as down below in the description. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a moment and refresh ourselves and get ready to dive into our study for today, where we picked up last, which was Meldeck. And now we are going to be exploring a very extraordinary and unique galactic being, galactic species, that is. But in just a moment, we will begin.
In addition to government encounters with mantis-like beings and their crafts, there are people worldwide who claim to have had direct contact with the mantis species when taken aboard their spacecrafts. One of the most common revelations about the mantis beings is that they appear to be working closely with the extraterrestrials known as the Greys.
The reports of how people would have interacted with the mantis beings comes through these people on board a spacecraft with gray aliens, short gray aliens, seeming to do a bulk of the work, where the mantis-type beings are the superiors, the bosses, giving instructions and guiding the whole situation that's going on. So of course the people, when they're in this scenario, they're a little bit afraid, a little concerned for their own safety and what's going on.
Ooh, we're getting mysterious. It's been getting really mysterious these last few episodes. We had the Zeta Reticuli, the gray aliens. We learned about them on Wednesday last week. And this week, yesterday, we learned about Meldeck and its mysterious hidden history. And then today, we are exploring insectoids and the mantis beings in our intergalactic universe. So with that, let's go ahead and get started and dive in on ascensionglossary.com. All right. Mantis Insectoids. All right. Mantis insectoid entities. They have been continually in the abductee experimenter phenomenon for as long as there has been awareness of written accounts of humans having alien contact experiences. Mantis beings appear to be a higher end of the extraterrestrial and extra-dimensional hierarchy, since they are most always described as overseeing or have a supervisory role in the abduction process or contact process and genetic experimentation of humans. In many contact reports, it appears they are the authority figure, whether it is a medical procedure or human ET hybrid interaction. Usually they are giving direction and show superiority over the gray aliens, or EBEs, that work under them. This takes place during situations involving baby or child presentations, all the way to sexual instruction, interaction, and possible telepathic absorption of emotions and sensations. In many such encounters, there is normally a mantis or insectoid being directing or observing the other beings and people involved in the genetic experimentation. I'm gonna go ahead and click on EBEs and check out what that is. So, extraterrestrial biological entities. Since the person's consciousness has not been prepared for the afterlife, whatever is left of its energetic quanta will be assimilated into a cyborg body or other types of synthetic life forms, or EBEs. Some people also refer to them as EBEN. There are currently spiritually disconnected humans existing on the earth that will be assimilated into synthetic life forms that appear as extraterrestrial biological entities, but were actually human souls in human bodies in past timelines. Most of the smaller EBE bodies assimilate nutrients from light similar to plants. They are unable to evolve, reproduce, ascend, or move into higher dimensions of consciousness. Some of these EBEs have returned to the Earth from the future to try to break into the human genetic code in this Earth timeline in order to save themselves. Many of these EBEs were once humans that were involved in the Orion Wars and were captured in Orion and used in worker colonies. Some from the Earth were enslaved as on the astral plane by other races as creatures such as the Mantis, the gray aliens, the reptilians, that took them as workers to other planetary systems. Some were even used as minions for carrying out human abductions in the MyLab's soul transference projects. Many of them had their consciousness erased, and they do not remember that they were once human. This is one of the possible resolutes of the transhumanism movement underway on this Earth timeline now, that leads to the potential future alien or dark force control over the soul. Once the consciousness is assimilated into artificial intelligence and synthetic biology, that being can no longer incarnate into an organic human form. That person cannot incarnate again into human realms such as planet Earth. They become a displaced entity that cannot die and be reborn into another identity. They are enslaved and merged with an AI hive mind. This is desired by many of the negative groups, such as the Alpha Draconians, the Orion group, as then they have full control over the life force of humans that can be made into worker slaves. This is the main purpose as to why transhumanism is being marketed and pushed aggressively during this time. They want to create more human EBEs and cyborgs or host bodies. When that person drops their body, while the universal gates are open, they can easily be transported to many different planetary systems. Wow. The alien abduction. Many humans have been abducted and report that EBE entities appear to be drones designed to carry out certain tasks for higher ups, such as escort the abduction or the abducted to the location where the medical or genetic examination will take place. Many times, the creature reports as a gray alien is actually a biological drone being used remotely from MyLab's programs. Most reported sightings of EBE seem to originate from the Zeta Draconian agendas, to use human DNA inserted into biological drones for slave labor, as well as carry out abduction experiments by those of the Zeta Reticuli. The Mantis supervise. The Mantis insectoid entities have been reported continuously in these abductee and experimenters. Okay, we actually read that in the beginning. So I'm going to click on My Labs. Military abductees. So the military abductees are legitimate alien abductees that are kidnapped, trained, and utilized as deep black operatives by elements of the military intelligence community for a various purposes, such as secret space programs. The MyLabs are generally militarized, cooperative programs working with multiple invading species of extra-dimensionals, such as reptilians that are interested in harvesting Earth resources and human slave labor, genetic hybridization, breeding programs, sexual slavery, and other... Oh, hold on. I lost my spot. Oh, other purposes serving their negative agenda, invasion. Many MyLabs are alien abductees that have been genetically enhanced or augmented with hybridized alien genetics that have generated potentially a variety of higher sensory perception abilities that are used for covert military operations, in some case for furthering the transhumanism agenda on the Earth. Astral operators. Some MyLabs with high psionic ability are trained to be astral operators, can be sent anywhere in the astral plane, above ground and underground, in surface military operations, command and control ships and airborne platforms, relay instruction to ground personnel, and serve as communication link between headquarters and troops on the ground. Astral operators that remote view are used in similar ways, although through conscious projection. There are a number of military programs that are running in parallel, although the training and operations are similar because all branches of the military service, Army, Navy, Air Force, control the MyLabs. I need to take a picture of this actually and send this to somebody in my community. Lunar Queen. She teaches about astral travel. She talks about astral safety and things of that nature. So I just wanted to send this to her. Okay. Wow. Man, the things that we reveal in these episodes. Quite fascinating. So, MyLab. This is short for military abduction, a deceitful military operation performed to convince the targets of the operation that they have had an encounter with an extraterrestrial beings, which is actually a stage ploy. Give me just one moment. I will be right back.
I think they were penis envy golden teacher cross. I love that combo. Yeah. I was very interested to see it. Normally I have blueies, which normally I'm going to be getting some more of these
I've never seen this cross. That's awesome.
I haven't either, so I mean, my college must have done a crazy job. I capsule them up too, so I mean, if you ever need any capsules, I can do that as well.
Cool.
They normally like turn into like 0.3 capsules, and I mean the capsules that I use, they're totally vegan.
That sounds good, man. Appreciate that. Now these ones are pretty potent, right?
Yes. Yeah, I would definitely take it light. I mean, I normally don't go over like 2 grams at a time. Me personally, I eat like a half gram and then see where I'm at, and eat another half gram and see where I'm at. Just keep stacking on it until I get to a point where I'm like,
yeah. Well, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem.
It's actually for my retreat this weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, have fun with that.
Absolutely.
Enjoy. I think you'll have a great time.
Yeah, man.
For sure.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Be safe.
Have a good one. Yeah.
And if you ever like retreats, man.
Yeah, definitely. I go to music festivals a lot, so.
Oh, bro, you'd love this. I do live music, workshops, all this stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. Let me know.
We'll stay in touch.
Sure.
See you later, man.
See ya.
All right, I'm back. I'm back. Divine Rising Queen. I had to go get me some goodies. I had to grab a little bit of mushrooms. We got some goodies. Got some goodies. Ooh, goodies. So, continuing. The military abductions. This is a deceitful operation performed to convince the targets of the operation that they have had an encounter with extraterrestrial beings, which is actually a staged ploy. DARPA. Oh boy, I've heard of DARPA before. DARPA is the organization that holds onto the MyLab projects. Most of the abductions and injections are via outside doctors, well away from the main operations, employed by many level of organizations. Mind control, intimidation, and torture is used by these doctors as a way of controlling the person. Over periods of time, this fragments people, as when you torture people, they end up fighting back regardless of what technology or medication is used to control them. Scanning of MyLabs for special projects is done on and in military base. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh snap. Oh boy. Oh boy, here we go. This is right by me. I live in Cincinnati, and I've actually been to this place, the Air Force Base in Dayton. And I actually went to a vending space, and I vended for the military there. Oh man, that's crazy. So, wow. Scanning of MyLabs for special projects is done on and in military bases. One such base is Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio. Some MyLabs get filtered and are used throughout the Western world for carrying out dark operations and space applications. Some are mind controlled to carry out covert operations that are made to look like an accident to the public and reported as such by the media. These are called sleepers. Wow. Wright-Patterson. Good Lord. Sleepers. A person who is or is believed to be brainwashed into becoming a subversive agent. And this may also include being programmed to be a mind control assassin. Oh, snap. This is where the false flags come from. These people many times do not remember their destructive actions at the time of the event, because they have been possessed or mind wiped. Brainwashing for means that serve a specific political agenda is also a subversive agent referred to as a Manchurian candidate based on the popular book and film. Jeez, oh peas. Whew. And that's what's behind a lot of false flag events, is this right here, this sleeper thing. Pretty wild to think about. So I was seeing this addiction webbing. So an application of a NRG coded implant, its mechanism acts as a tick or a leech that burrows itself deeper into the lower areas of the astral body, mostly in the second chakra and into the instinctual response functions of the central nervous system. From the second level of chakra layer infection, if the addiction becomes severe over time, repetitive destructive reactions and spiritually abusive behaviors as a response to external stimulus, it eventually embeds itself deeper into the energy matrix of the light body. A false webwork, like a film or spider web, is an overlay on the nervous system, winds up the spinal cord, and will have a trigger implant placed in the back of the head and neck. Once the implant is fully embodied and operational, severe addiction, mood swings, or possession occur as the target becomes more bipolar and manic. These are signs of mental and emotional instability, which further weaken the person into potential soul fragmentation. The most common area for alien implants or mind control is the atomic doorway, the ninth chakra, where the inner spirit light reflects out of the eyes. That inner light will die or become dead in the eyes after this implant takes over the body. The implant is a negative agenda reptilian NRG brain implant that is placed in the structure of the brainstem via the medulla oblongata. Wow, we'll just leave it there for that one. Let's go back to our original page. Stuff's So continuing. Grid work experiences. When working in the 10th Stargate or GEG grid work, the Golden Eagle grid, which is the Iran gate on the Earth in Iran, or working to open communication hub handshakes with Crystal Star, many of us have had experiences with the insectoid races, as the negative agenda Mantis and gray entities work to control the Stargate with many of their underlying workers, the gray aliens. There are both regressive Mantis insectoid entities that seem to be in alliance with the Orion group, and those working with Guardians to help the Ascension. In my experience, the Athian Mantis are tall, white, and very compassionate and loving, while the brown and dark gray Mantis are not. Some of the darker Mantis seem to be on board with reptilian and gray alien agendas to genetically harvest human DNA without disclosure or consent. Humans should not be treated as laboratory animals. Got that right. Reptile insectoid collectives. The main groups of negative aliens, the Anunnaki, Draconians, Zetas, and Necromitans, that source out of the Phantom Matrix space and the parallel systems, formed alliance with the fallen angelic Anunnaki groups to take control of the Earth, which are referred to as the negative agenda. These groups used technology to open wormholes that were blended together to create the power required to attempt to pull the Earth body into the black hole system, leading into the Phantom Matrix, where they exist and then could gain total control over the planet and humanity. These are called the Black Suns or the Black Sun Agenda. The Reptile Insectoid Collective is the dragon moth from Orion black hole system, Necrometan beetle hominid, the Men in Black from the Niburian lines, Marduk Omicron from Alpha Centauri, Centaur hybrids from Omega Centauri, Zeta from Rigel, Zeta Draconian agendas, and then the Zeta from Zeta Reticuli. Wow. I'm going to click on Phantom Matrix since this is the end of the study. So you guys can have a full understanding of what the Phantom Matrix is. So the Phantom Matrix is a replica of the fallen Earth timelines. It is used to blend with the organic Earth body in order to consume the living light in the organic creator codes and living souls on the planet. This is also referred to as the AI timelines of the fallen Earth, and this section of the Phantom Matrix blends with the organic timelines, which we are bifurcating away from as it collapses during the ascension cycle. Artificial timeline wars. The current timeline wars are primarily over maintaining the base 10 architecture and Metatronic Fibonacci coding that use the artificial tree of life constructs, which exist as negative agenda controlled artificial machinery within the planetary body. This generates a blended Earth reality. The base 10 architecture using an artificial core manifestation body and distorted birth transduction sequence that runs reversal 10 current. This reversal current runs throughout the technology-controlled sections of the planetary field, which force splitting, which implements the artificial timelines that project the artificial spaces or phantom matrices. A phantom matrix can be considered a virtual reality hologram with a finite energy source. The structure is entropic and parasitic, as it must rely upon an external power source through which to siphon energy to continue to exist. What is a phantom matrix? The phantom matrix, a fallen region of the lower dimensional spectrum, originally from our universal time matrix, it became a slowly degenerating black hole reality. It contains a fallen parallel Earth that the Bible refers to as the bottomless pit, Hades, or hell. Nevertheless, if one fell into this, say via the Falcon or Phoenix Grid wormholes on the basis of frequency affiliation, one wouldn't necessarily encounter sheer misery and torment. There would be upper portions of this reality, which initially might be indistinguishable from Earth as it is today, though one would soon realize the control and suppression was greater and from an ET government. Also, that it was an astral frequency dimension with no depth of the body, except that one would slowly die in a imperceptibility imploding black hole system, capable of lasting some hundreds of millions of years without external or internal sustenance. Over the 5,500 years, our planet has been operating on a closed bi-wave, reversal polarity system. This means neither the Trinity wave of the Christos nor the cosmic mother arc were existing or accessible from within the planetary field during that timeline. A closed system means finite energy supply. With finite energy supply based on the artificial tree of life, this architecture is designed to consume others' energies and parasitic relationships multiplied in massive proportions. These feed lines have clustered, creating multiple infections of dead energy and miasma in the universal time matrix. These infected areas are called the phantom matrix or dead spaces. These dead spaces contain virtual environments that must feed on someone or something in order to exist. They contain massive debris and waste, energetically similar to piles of infectious dead waste and pollution that is piled in a corner. In the matter realm, this is just like massive trash dumps, plastic bottles littering the land and oceans of the earth. It is in the phantom or dead space that the negative agenda controller forces are able to siphon our planetary life force energy. They do this by manipulation of the bi-wave polarity fields and rotation of the electronic particle, by forcing the energy flow and disproportionate channels that feed their intended closed source. Usually the feed line of Loosh is directed by and through the Alpha Draconian Orion group controllers off planet. Last one, mental holograms and holographic inserts. Phantom area extendeds to artificially generate mental holograms that produce clones of various people, mental maps and soul imprints that are copied into light holograms that are used for consciousness traps or to divert and manipulate many individuals and groups from achieving spiritual freedom. This is part of how the blended reality is propped up, using virtual copies and clones of people to be puppets of AI programs, often acting counter to the consciousness intentions and choices of the being who has been copied. Wow. And that is ascensionglossary.com for all of you. That is where we leave off for our study. And here in a moment, we will watch a couple of videos about these Mantis Insectoid beings, and then we will close out. Feel free to watch the replay if you missed the content and the deep dive into this knowledge about the Mantis Insectoids. Man, it's just so interesting connecting with all this. Take a moment and pause. Burn a little bit more sage after that. Burn some sage. I've been really loving just working with one leaf of sage. That's all we need. Go ahead and get some of this insectoid energy off. But wow. What valuable knowledge. At this point, we're becoming so aware of so many negative agendas and how they operate and how it's happening. We're bound to make some change, that's for sure. Awareness equals opportunity for change. And that can be mentally, spiritually, energetically. Doesn't have to be physically. Phew. All right. Let's go ahead and watch our videos and close out for today.
Most of the descriptions I've seen, it has a proboscis, which is like what an insect has is this sort of tongue and projection of its mouth cavity. And it seems to fit the perfect description of what a praying mantis should be, even down to a point where its hands are actually bent and in that position.
The mantis beings have three-pronged hands, so it's sort of like three prongs that go down like this. Their feet have sort of a suction cup feeling, so when they walk, they can have a stability. On their crafts, it is said that everything is run telepathically through them.
Insectoids as a whole mostly follow the mantis appearance, but there's varying sizes. There are some that are very, very large, like the Ontarian insectoids were very large beings. They were 15 to 20 feet tall. There are others that were the technicians that work with the gray aliens, maybe some of the insectoids that we saw in Orion that were more closer to human height.
Ooh, where's the X-File theme at? All right. So our last video is going to be about a teen girl, and she is talking about her abduction story with the praying mantis beings. And this is actually from the History Channel.
Covina, California, 1963. In this small farming town on the outskirts of Los Angeles, 17-year-old Linda Porter awakens to find herself aboard a strange craft. From what she is able to recall later under hypnosis, a small creature that appeared to be a gray alien led her towards a light-filled room, where she encountered another type of being, one much taller and with the features of a praying mantis.
Very standalone, very odd case. The fact that this occurred in 1963 is very intriguing because it's before the abduction phenomenon became popularized.
There have been depictions throughout various abduction scenarios that include the gray aliens and this larger, tall insectoid being, very praying mantis-like.
Linda Porter claims that throughout her teens and 20s, she experienced numerous other encounters with these alien beings. But it wasn't until the age of 45 that she finally reached out to investigative journalist Linda Moulton Howe to tell her story.
I received a letter carefully written from Linda Porter. This led up to her sending me a whole lot of drawings.
These drawings appear in Linda Moulton Howe's book, Glimpses of Other Realities.
One of the drawings was of a praying mantis about 8 feet tall, in a room that was very odd, had a cylindrical object and sparkles of light.
There have been quite a number of different types of aliens seen, allegedly by contactees. But the ones that are really peculiar and very rare are these very scary, skinny, large, basically intelligent insects that have been reported.
People have drawn parallels between the aliens that are reported on board UFOs and insects, particularly bees. The grays, for instance, could be equated in some way to the drone or the worker bee. The so-called praying mantis type could be seen perhaps as the queen bee. Larger than the others, more intelligent, they're taller than a person, 8 or even 9 feet tall. And the gray aliens may handle the person who's being abducted, but in the background, there's this praying mantis type that seems to be calling the shots.
According to Porter, she is part of a larger experiment, one in which these aliens appear concerned with her soul.
She said, whatever we humans are, we have an animus, a soul, that is mysterious to them. And they are trying to find out, where does the soul spirit go at the moment of death? And that the non-humans were studying the recycling of the souls in and out of containers.
She talked about being shown 3 cylinders. Contained in each cylinder was a human being in kind of like a state of suspended animation.
Linda Porter came away from her 2 or 3 decades of interaction with these non-humans, including the at first terrifying praying mantis, that these are extraterrestrial biological entities that have taken a deep interest in the evolution of life forms here, that they have manipulated DNA in already evolving primates, that they have created a whole series of different models.
Might the numerous accounts of mantis-like beings reported by alleged alien abduction victims, along with the ancient San story of a praying mantis god, be evidence that an otherworldly race of insectoids really does exist?
The Mantis Insectoids. Time to close. You already know. Thank you guys for enjoying the show. Time to flow. Here we go. Let's go ahead and make the most of this day. It is a time for us to rise, to shine. That will do it for today. Thank you for joining me on this episode. Grand Rising with ChristoLight. I will see you guys soon. And that soon is today. Tune in today at 5 p.m. Eastern for the first ever episode of this brand new podcast series that I will be producing for our sister Shannon Scott. And that is the House Mama podcast, where we are helping weave the stories of the world, as well as our human experiences, and helping each other grow, heal, and be in unity as a community. 5 p.m. Eastern, tune in right here on Sacred Light Broadcast Network on YouTube, or you can go to House Mama Unity and Community Podcast on YouTube and subscribe. And then later tonight at 8 p.m., I will be live with Sandy Marshall for the Raw Material Law of One, Ascending Beyond Limitations. Join us, join us, join us. Tap in, subscribe, follow, share, and enjoy. I love you all. Have a blessed day. Wholeness and balanced love. Our founder claims this right here is an embodied form of the violet ray spectrum. Tap in and tune in Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern, live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Grand Rising with ChristoLight, your sacred space for discovering the Ascended Masters in crystal healing. Ashe.